Okay, well, the adventure continues as I have moved the refrigerator back here because last night I tried to get in here, and one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect my battery. Oof, hopefully I have room for this. And get my little door placed there. Battery out and actually loosen up the positive terminal. Get that disconnected so I don't have an issue with that. There, and do the same thing under here with the positive on this one. Hopefully I'll be able to do it as well. Actually, this one's just got to disconnect with the wing nut here. There we go. I'm going to take this terminal off. Of course, everything will, clocks and everything will shut off. But this is hooked up through the, not only the coach battery, but everything else. So I really don't want to get zatzed when I'm doing the fuse panel for the 12 volt. If it feeds back through the coach battery, or in this case the chassis battery, which is the chassis battery is the battery that starts the RV, and the chassis battery, is my understanding, is the one that's in the rear to start the genset and get those things going. So anyways, so that's what I got going there, so I can get my fuse panel fixed up and get that replaced. So I'm going to leave this out for now and get in there and start pulling the old fuse panel out. Got a package today FedExed to me from the people at Best RV and Truck Supply. They're out of Enterprise, Alabama, and they were a lead that I received from a couple of good friends at Good Old RV'ing. It's a group on the internet, obviously, that was trying to figure out what was that metal box. Figured it was a converter, and they gave me a lead on a good one to get to replace that one, because who knows what kind of shape it's in. It's 30 some odd years old, and I don't think it's working too well on the charging side. So we got this, picked this up, bought this again from Best RV and Truck Supply out of Enterprise, Alabama. I'll put that contact info in the description. And so yeah, so this is it. This is what I got here. So it's a, there it is, a BD1245CL. So there's a 4-stage converter charger. So it's nice. It's about the size, a little, yeah, it's about the same size as the last one I have in the RV. And so I'll use that as my replacement. So it'll be pretty cool. So yeah, so that's from those folks. And I guess the people that make them are called Best Converter. It's bestconverter.com is the manufacturer of the Boondocker, as they call it. And again, I'll put that information in the description as well. So yeah, so I got that. I'm going to take my box. This is like a box in a box is what I wound up getting. So let's head out here, take a look at what else we got going. I got my Dometic fridge vent cover coming. Amazon just texted me, emailed me, and 15 other ways let me know that I was going to be getting that. I pulled my, this is what we call the spiral baffle. That's what's inside that tube. The flue of the fridge, I want to clean that up a little bit. Looking a little like it's had some rust on it. And that was down in here, so I took the cover, it's a little, this guy off here, which is sort of just clip fit. I'm going to clean that up a little bit. Might as well while I'm in here. I'm actually going to clean up all this tubing. But yeah, so again, it rained last night, and you can see here, there's water There's water there. This is definitely leaking up in that spot, so I gotta do that as part of my repair job here, as they always seem to get more and more involved, but had to put a little paint tray over the top of the existing converter in case I didn't replace it, but I'm going to. So that's what's going on there, along with the little fuse box thing in the back. So as I wait for the parts, the final parts, the burner parts for this, I'm going to do, like I said, I'm going to do the cleanup. I'm going to turn this a little bit, get this in a position where I can take a wire brush and get this all taken care of and repainted. And like I said, anytime I get a chance to clean something up or fix it, that's what I'm trying to do. Okay, we're going to try this GoPro again. I don't know if it's going to work or not. It's been giving me an SD card error thing going on. So what I've got some of my essentials here, like I mentioned in the last video. And of course, being it's April 10th, we've got snow. So I'm probably going to build a snowman later today. A little outdoor activity for my quarantine period, right? Self-imposed, I guess you might say, or by Governor Cuomo. So yeah, so the snow is building up yet again. Definitely built up on the steps. And I'm gonna leave the door open for now, just to get some light in here because I've unplugged everything. But this is the day after last night. I came in here with my naval jelly, and basically went through and coated as much as I could after cleaning it off. I used a little bit of a wire brush and a Scotch-Brite pad and a rough one, and went through, and with the door open and a fan running and a mask on, because I don't know what kind of paint this is, and I don't want to assume anything, so I assumed it was some kind of paint I don't want to inhale. So I cleaned up some of the fins here. I got to do a little bit more of the compressed air. I took my shotgun barrel cleaner and tried putting it down here, but I found I actually had to tip the fridge back because my ceiling is too low, or I'd have to have this thing outside. And even when I do get it in, the handle stops, so I can only get it in to about, well, you can see where I get it in there. So I have to probably take compressed air and blow it down through the tube and try to get any bugs out of there that might be in there. That's always a good thing. I got to finish cleaning up the spiral baffle that goes on the bottom of this thing, goes in through the top of the tube, and then I'll effect the repairs on the parts that I have. Hopefully this weekend. Goodness knows, who knows with the weather out here. I'm supposed to be getting my new burner setup package sent to me, so hopefully that will show up and I'll be able to do what I need to do here, and the new roof vent will show up. I debated actually converting to a wall vent, but I'm figuring, how much I'd love to just plug, cap the roof off and do it that way. I don't know. I'm thinking it's already there. I'll just put the new vent on. I've got all the die-core sealant and all that good stuff. And so I'm glad that this did what it did here. I got to get into these tiny little spots with the navy jelly. Although it's a little cold today, but I got to daub it into those little crevices there. You get it like that, and hopefully spot any other, places that need it. Touch it up. I like this stuff because you can just kind of let it sit, and it does convert the rust over. And then I'm going to put a self-etching primer on it, and then I've got the gray. Hopefully it'll be a pretty close match. If not, no big deal. You don't really see it that often. And yeah, so got that to do. I've got my electrical work to do, the fridge work to do, finishing off the insert area, get that cleaned up. And I'm really shooting for this weekend to get most of this stuff cleaned up and ready and working. Hey everyone, this is the Vintage RV'er here. I'm just giving a quick shout out to everybody. You probably already know this because of all the stuff going on, and the shipping situation is getting stressed out pretty far. So I've decided to, as part of my kind of electrical phase of improvements on the RV, is to order this relay box, a waterproof relay box with a bunch of relays. I'm going to switch out
some of my switches are like directly wired in, kind of the old school kind of thing without the relays. But the switches then take the full amperage of whatever is being powered, like the running lights I have and the fog lights, stuff like that. So I'm going to switch to relays to run the main juice to those items, while the switch just has a little like 7 or 8 volts worth of power going through them with almost no amperage. So as I'm doing that, I'm realizing that, well, this thing, I just ordered this today, which is, you know, it's a 5 or 6 relay block with a bunch of fuses in it. And this is going to take 3 weeks to get to me, where normally it would take like 3 days, 3 or 4 days. So there's a substantial delays on items that are going on here. And so I'm going to click on this real quick. You know, can I place an order? Yeah, sure. Will Amazon deliver a package? Sure they will. And so there's a lot of things that are taking longer to ship. And so they're putting out a little Q&A thing here, and they put on, is it safe to receive orders? So they're going through guidance for things like that, and telling people what to expect. And I look at this and I go, okay, is somebody trying to get projects done and dealt with? I look at this and go, okay, I may have to anticipate that what I thought I was going to do this weekend isn't going to happen because of all the shipping delays. And I don't want to sound selfish or anything, but it's one of those things you got to deal with, right? I mean, if we're gonna go there and we're gonna deal with things like that, then we look at, here we go, like on my eBay here. Let's pop this up real quick. So I've got stuff I've ordered, like this gasket kit for the RV. It's telling me it's not going to show up until April 17th, which is not bad. It's about a week, so it's not horrible. And that's flea bay, so I don't really, my expectations of what goes on here is not really that earth-shattering. And there was another order I had here for this burner, and it's telling me Saturday, April 11th. I don't know if you can see that on the screen or not. I'm just trying to hold this GoPro. Hopefully it's compensating. It's kind of on wide. But that originally said April 2nd to the 4th, which was last weekend. And for whatever reason, just didn't get shipped. Which I don't blame these folks, don't get me wrong. I don't want people to get mad at them or anything. But, they're good folks, but I'm sure they had a lot of stuff going on in their own lives trying to get stuff shipped out. So, but there's things like that where, parts I need to complete my projects aren't gonna happen. I'm gonna have to just, adjust accordingly. For what I'm doing, and I'm sure everybody else that's doing that is doing the same thing. I've got these other parts here, they came in, but I don't really want to complete the job until I have the burner replacement kit here. So little things like that go on. I'm sure everybody's experiencing that in the RV world, and we just have to kind of adjust and deal with it, and figure out what we're going to do in the meantime. But most important thing is everybody should be safe and healthy, and it's a time of adjustment, and I'm sure there's other things we could be working on our RVs in the meantime. I've got a 30-some-odd-year-old, 33-year-old RV. There's always something to work on, and as long as I've got parts and bits in my workshop, I've got a benefit. I'm not a full-timer, so I've got a place to live. In the meantime, because I got my Dometic just sitting there basically on the floor, waiting to be worked on. But in the meantime, it's blowing snow out there, so I really don't feel like using spray paint. I can't even turn the heat on in the RV because I've got all the batteries disconnected in anticipation of getting the fuse block replaced in the back for the 12 volt. But there's like snow piling up on top of that little piece of plywood there, so you can get some accumulations going on. Driveway's blacktop, so it isn't really building up. But this morning it was. It's been warming up a little bit, but it's still cold enough for the snow flurries to blow here, and around April 10th. So In any case, everyone, take care of yourselves, and I'll talk to you later.